At this time, the chair recognizes Councilwoman Parker, who will present a resolution recognizing Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. With Patricia Alford and those accompanying her, please join the Councilwoman at the podium. And joining Councilwoman Parker, we have Councilman Johnson, Councilman Green, Councilman Taubenberger, Councilman Greenlee, Councilwoman Blackwell, and Councilman Jones. And Councilwoman Blondo Reynolds Brown. And Councilman Down.
Wow.
How you doing?
As we continue to get assembled here, I want you to know that it is indeed an honor and a privilege that I join with my soror Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds Brown. Soror Councilwoman, how many years for you in Delta? 1996. 25 years. This is my 25th anniversary this year. So it is indeed an honor and a privilege that we continue with what is the 16th anniversary of a tradition established by our former colleague and my mentor and teacher, soror Councilwoman Marion Tasco, in honoring Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated in its Youth Day here in City Council. Let me just say on a personal note that all of our sorors who are here today are women who wholeheartedly believe that intelligence is the torch of wisdom. We are proud to follow in the footsteps of our founders. And for the record, for those of you who may not be familiar, none of you are an American or live anywhere in this world and you don't know Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, there is some challenges, but nevertheless, just in case you need to know of some notable Deltas who have made a traditional impact on our globe: Shirley Chisholm, Ruby D, Patricia Roberts Harris, Dr. Dorothy Height, Shirley Jackson, Elaine Jones, Barbara Jordan, Carrie Meek, Stephanie Tubbs Jones, and my favorite story of all sorors is when soror Alexis Herman was making history and becoming the Secretary of Labor in our United States of America during the Clinton administration. And as she was being sworn in, they came outside to take a photo, and President Clinton says to our soror, "Who are those women in red?" And it was a slew, a sea of red on the steps. And our soror said, "Oh, Mr. President, those are my sisters." So it is indeed an honor to be here today. We want to say a special thank you to soror Pat Alford from our Quaker City chapter, who started the organizing of this event and working with Councilwoman Marion Tasco some years ago. The resolution reads as follows: a resolution recognizing and honoring the members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated's Philadelphia Alumnae, Quaker City Alumnae, and Valley Forge Alumnae chapters on the occasion of Delta Youth Day at Philadelphia City Council.
We would be remiss not to salute the sister of Janie from Cheney, Patricia Banton, who's also a member of our distinguished sorority. Whereas the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was founded on the campus of Howard University in 1913 by 22 phenomenal and trend-setting collegiate women who saw no limit to their vision for sisterhood, scholarship, and service. Delta's founders stepped out on faith to march with the suffragists and took a stand for social justice as their first public act. So Black women were a part of that movement. More than 105 years later, They continued their legacy of leadership by following in the footsteps of their founders and remained in the forefront of action as a voice for those in need. Whereas since its founding, more than 200,000 women have joined this sorority. The organization is a sisterhood of predominantly Black, college-educated women. The sorority currently has 1,000 collegiate and alumni chapters located in the United States, England, Japan, Germany, the Virgin Islands, Bermuda, the Bahamas, Jamaica, and the Republic of Korea, who proudly embrace their 2017-2019 biennial theme of joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our heart. And on a final note of personal privilege, my daughter is a legacy, a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, whereby she was president of her chapter at Syracuse University.
And since we're talking about family, both my mother, wife, and sister are members of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. Whereas the Philadelphia, Quaker City, and Valley Forge alumni chapters share much more than a local bond. In fact, they are each members of a robust Pennsylvania statewide network that includes 26 collegiate and alumni chapters in the mighty Eastern region, from Philadelphia to York, Allegheny to Erie, and many counties in between. These dynamic women of diverse educational and professional backgrounds join together to proudly institute the sorority's 5-point programmatic thrust, which includes a laser focus on economic development, educational development, international awareness and involvement, physical and mental health, and political awareness and involvement through their service to their local and national communities. And
whereas, in 1927, 11 members of the Gamma chapter led by Sadie T.M. Alexander, the first national president of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, formed the nucleus of Xi Sigma. They together stressed the importance of the academic excellence, advocating for progressive and equitable social, political, and educational policies in the 20th century. The charter members became leaders in the communities in which they lived, and in 1956, the nomenclature of all graduate chapters were changed, and Xi Sigma was proudly renamed the Philadelphia Alumni Chapter. And
the determined members of the Philadelphia Alumni Chapter humbly celebrate their 2018-2019 accomplishments, which include serving as the host chapter for the Eastern Regional stop of the sorority's Pride in Our Heritage Tour, which featured an enlightening dialogue between sorors Dr. Janetta B. Cole and Nikki Giovanni, hosting the outstanding Delta Gems Institute and the Dr. Betty Shabazz Delta Academy programs, leading the Juanita Kid Stout Economic Empowerment Community Conference, prioritizing mental health awareness for African Americans, and addressing the need for worldwide clean water by making contributions to water for children throughout the continent of Africa. The Philadelphia Alumni Chapter are Delta's leading by example. And
whereas the Quaker City Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was chartered on October 17, 1976 on the campus of LaSalle University. There, 28 enthusiastic young women were dedicated to combining their visions, skills, and energies to establish a new alumni chapter in the Philadelphia metropolitan area. The goal of the chapter was to enhance the Philadelphia community through its public service endeavors, bringing life to the mantra that Deltas were a sisterhood called to serve. And
whereas the diligent women of the Quaker City Alumni Chapter humbly celebrate their 2018 to 2019 accomplishments, which include securing a pathway to education by awarding $6,000 in scholarships to local students, working with Habitat for Humanity to build quality homes for families in need, lobbying members of the Pennsylvania General Assembly and United States Congress for an equitable investment in education funding, fair housing laws, affordable health care, gun control laws, and sentencing reform, as well as fundraising to support breast cancer research and nonprofit organizations working to end human trafficking. The Quaker City Alumnae Chapter are Deltas demonstrating leadership and service through their work. And that's awesome.
And not to be outdone, my daughter and my sister-in-law are members of this fine sorority. Whereas on February 10th, 1991, the Valley Forge Alumni Chapter was chartered with an initiation membership of 27 committed women. The chapter has since grown to a membership of 170 dynamic, energetic, and hardworking women who continue to live in their mission to provide leadership, scholarship to youth in our community, support projects that transform the lives of families participating in charitable events, and serve as social activists. And
whereas the dutiful women of the Valley Forge Alumni Chapter humbly celebrate their 2018 to 2019 accomplishments, which include serving as a lead supporter for the Valley Forge National Historical Park Initiative to educate visitors on the contributions of African descendants during periods of war, helping to foster a love of reading among elementary students through participation in the Gottwalls Elementary School Read It program, reaching well over 200 children per month, building classroom libraries through book and financial donations, and supporting the efforts of the American Red Cross via the Sound the Alarm program, the Pillowcase Project, the Hurricane Harvey Disaster Relief Telethon, blood drives, and volunteer engagement. The Valley Forge Alumni Chapter are Delta's Building a Better Tomorrow. And
whereas the members of each of these respective chapters' social action committees have furthered their commitment to social and political engagement by empowering and encouraging student activism through the, quote, Election Ambassador Corps, the, quote, Behind the Ballot, and the, quote, Girls Badge, and continued participation in Youth Leadership Day, where students observe council members in action and are provided a platform to engage with council members who represent the districts where the students reside. And whereas the women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated continue to be magnificent examples of servant leaders with an uncompromising commitment to their community, which is exemplified in today's annual event of the Delta Youth Day at Philadelphia City Council that was created at the behest of the Quaker City Alumni Chapter. Now therefore be it
Resolved by the Council of the City of Philadelphia that it hereby proudly recognizes and honors the members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated's Philadelphia Alumnae, Quaker City Alumnae, and Valley Forge Alumnae chapters on the occasion of Delta Youth Day at Philadelphia City Council. Further resolved that an engrossed copy of this resolution be presented to the members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated's Philadelphia, Quaker City, and Valley Forge Alumni chapters as the evidence of the sincere sentiments of this legislative body. Ladies and gentlemen, please give the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated a round of applause.
And the chair recognizes Ms. Alford for remarks. Someone else? Ms. Alford?
Good morning.
Morning.
On behalf of my president, Sean Anthony, and on behalf of our national organization, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, I want to thank you for allowing us to bring the youth here to see how you work. And we always tell the young people that they're not just people sitting there, they're really working in your interests. I have to say, being born and raised in Philadelphia, in the University City area, I got a fine education. I lived in a very nice house. We struggled. I ate hamburger and chicken every night for about 4 or 5 years after my parents purchased a home. But Delta Sigma Theta, not only are we educated, our job is to educate the people in the community. Our job is to go back and give the community the resources and the things they need so they can be successful like I was successful or they were successful. We know the city has worked really hard, and we heard that this morning, in developing programs and putting Philadelphia on the map. But I have to remind everybody that nice housing is nice, but when you make $15 an hour, you don't get a $32,600 a year. You can't afford the new apartments that are going up, and you have 2 kids in apartments are saying that it's $2,800 a month. You can't say to somebody that is able to go to University of Penn Hospital, Temple Hospital, and whatnot, to get the resources they have for the illnesses they have if you have no health care. You cannot figure out whether or not you're going to be represented in the upcoming count for the census. We're going to do everything we possibly can to make sure every citizen in Philadelphia is counted so the money can come to our city so it can help every citizen in the city of Philadelphia. I just want to say, where's Belinda? Saw Reynolds, Brown, you have been an inspiration to us. Lord, we will miss you. I just want to let you know that they do have positions on the state and the national level. And if you go there, you will see this red and white with no problem whatsoever. I just want to thank you again for taking the time to show our youth what it's like in the future, what they have for the future. And we will be meeting in a few minutes. The last thing is on your table. There is a pen, and it's a pen light. You pull off the end, save that, and you push it, and it lights up. I want you to make sure that every day you push this pen, and you'll be reminded that there's Deltas here behind you. We can work together to make it better for everybody in the city of Philadelphia. Thank you.
Greetings to President Clark, our other city officials, and our guest here today. My name is Tracy Howard. I'm the president of Valley Forge Alumnae Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. We thank you for having us here today and for recognizing our contributions that we have done in the community. We can't do it without you, so we do thank you for attending all of our fundraisers, our other events, but those funds help us stay in the community and host programs that help our youth, families, and we also take care of scholarships. Our presence here today for the Delta Youth Day, we're hoping not just the youth, but also other citizens that are here. We're hoping that our presence shows you that it's important to stay politically involved. Stay engaged with what is going on in the city. Make an impact by voting. Be a long-time voter. Have an impact on the decisions that are going to affect you, your family, and your community. That's how we're going to start, by touching our youth today. We're hoping to have dialogue with them. This social action engagement is, I want to say, what is needed, not just today, but we're hoping every day. And again, welcome, welcome. Thank you for recognizing us.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Linda Miller, and I'm co-chair of Social Action Philadelphia Alumnae Chapter, and our president is Dr. Monica Johnson-Taylor. I don't have to say much more, but I need to say this. We have work to do in our communities. We have work to do. And council should always reach out to Delta at any time when there's work in their community that they need help for. Because we are the Red Army. And we're called the Red Army because we know we got work to do and we stay woke. So when you have challenges coming down the road, and we know the next biggest challenge is going to be the census, we're going to be out there making sure and helping you and helping get money to make sure that count is correct. So I want to thank Councilwoman Parker for inviting us here, Councilwoman Brown for always being there, and Councilman Darrell Clark for keeping it moving. So I want to thank, and all the other council members that are here, keep doing what you're doing because the Red Army is watching you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilwoman Biddies.